Good evening, friends. I would like to make a presentation on my object-oriented analysis and design project, which is called Biometric System as a Human Resource Aspect. So the motivation for my system was, the motivation for the design of this particular system was the fact that biometric systems are used all over in the organizations for basic things like security, and plugging into work and all those basic things that we use biometric for. But none harness the actual capacity of biometric systems as they are supposed to be. So the behaviormetric system is a proposal where we get to use the biometric system, existing biometric systems, and human resource systems to come up with a super system that is called a behaviormetric, which will be used to assess the employees' moods and also increase personnel morale based on the input that we get and the analysis that we make on those things. So the architecture for my biometric system is composed of 5 layers. The 5 layers involve the data acquisition layer. So it depends on what the biometric system is. If it's unimodal, that means takes one input modality, or multimodal, where it uses two or more input modalities. So assuming it's a multimodal system, we would use things like cameras, sensors, fingerprint scanners, microphones, actuators to gather all the biometrics that we need so that we make an informed decision based on them. So when we get all this data, it is stored in a database, converted, and then it's also stored in a knowledge base where it is used for further analysis and decision making in the organization. So the data processing layer involves all the algorithms that will be used, query processing, and all the functional, mini functional parts of the system that will be used to come up with the general behaviormetric system. The data services or publish refer to the way data will be displayed in the system. That is system notification, web responses, SMS, RS feeds, and all those things if it's an online system. And then the quality of service layer refers to the services that this particular system will provide for that organization, which includes security, identification, authentication, and also informed decisions. So, for this project, since it's an object-oriented analysis design project, I decided to do it using UML diagrams. So the first diagram is the use case diagram. I have to zoom it a bit. So the use case has 4 specifications. The first one is the enrollment specification. In this enrollment, what happens is that is where the collection of the biometric data is done. We first collect the initial biometric data, we store it in the system for later use. And then afterwards, in the verification process, we then collect a new sample on that particular day or time that we want to use. And then we match it with what was enrolled before or that extraction feature that was stored before to see if there's a match or similarity, and if there is, then we forward it to the identification component where we will identify who the user is and make informed decisions based on that. And then the last is the operations on existing information. And then the next diagram that I utilized was the component diagram. In the component diagram, as we can see, they are those numbers 1 and 2. 1 and 2 refer to required interfaces. That means this particular system can be interconnected with other ports and with other systems to form a bigger system. So 1 would get input from the first component, and then it would be passed out through 2. 3, 4, 5, 6 are the provided interfaces that the system already has. That is the capture component, verification component, and identification component, and decision component. Afterwards, I also used a package diagram, which also has modules or small packages of the whole system, and it has user package, enrollment package, extraction, decision, and database. So for the scope of my case study, I thought I should give a definition of ETRIS. This, as we can see, it refers to the systems and processes at the intersection between human resource management and information technology. So, if we combine what we already have in human resources and IT, we come up with a powerful system called Behaviormetrics, which can be, if implemented well, it can be a useful tool to any organization. So for that, there is rough diagram that I kind of came up with so that we could have a feel of what the system would look like. So here we have input modalities where we capture where we get input from either captured image, voice recognition, depending on what the system is, whether it's unimodal or multimodal. So the input that we get is then put into the processing. So for processing, we have two stages. There's pre-processing and then storage. In pre-processing, that is where we segment the biometric, try to extract features from it, similar features of what already exist in the system and how we use them. So for that, they are then stored in the database and then returned again for processing. After that, if it's facial, it goes for facial expression generation. If it's voice, it goes for voice quality generation. And then a final decision may be made. So this final decision would be made based on whether the face is sad or happy. So HR can use that final decision to make an informed decision in the company on how to improve the morale of personnel and how to improve productivity in a company. Um, it would be a good system, rather, it is a good system because it combines the systems that we already have in a company, and it helps HR use advanced technology to decide what to do with the employees without using those feedback forms, because the disadvantages of the old methods that we normally use of feedback forms, complaints, and all this, people can fake things, and but our biometrics never lie. So for that, it's a good system. So in summary, um, I have just shown that the behavior system can be designed using UML diagrams, and it's a combination of multimodal biometric systems and some refinement algorithms, and it can be used for good in an organization. Thank you very much for listening. The end.